Hi there, in this video we are going to go over how to evaluate expressions. When substituting a value into an expression, it is helpful to put the value in parentheses. Don't forget the order of operations, GEMS or PEMDAS, whichever you prefer. GEMS is G stands for your grouping symbols like your parentheses, E stands for exponents, M stands for multiply, divide, and S stands for subtract or add. In PEMDAS, P stands for parentheses, E stands for exponents, MD stands for multiply, divide, and AS stands for add or subtract. All right, so next we have here, evaluate each expression for the given value of the variables. My suggestion to you is that you simplify the expressions before you do anything. So in this case, we have 2 parentheses 5z minus 4. In order to get rid of those parentheses, we are going to do the distributive property. So 2 times 5c gets us 10c. 2 times negative 4 gets us negative 8. Okay, and next we are going to plug in the value of c, which is negative 2. When I plug that value in, I'm going to use parentheses so that I know that I plugged it in correctly. So I have here 10, that's c, I'm going to plug in parentheses, so times negative 2, and then minus 8. And now I can go ahead and solve. So 10 times negative 2 gets us negative 20 minus 8. We are going to do keep, change, change, or keep, switch, switch, and we get negative 28. All right, next we have here 1/3 x plus 8 if x is equal to negative 6. Now this expression here is already simplified, so we just need to go directly into substituting. So we have 1/3 times x, which is negative 6. So I put that in parentheses, negative 6 plus 8. So 1/3 times negative 6, that gets us negative 2. In case you don't know that, right, 1/3 of 6 is 2. If that doesn't make sense to you, you can go ahead and write it off to the side. We have 1/3 times negative 6 over 1, and you'll get negative 6 over 3, which is in fact negative 2. Okay. So 1/3 times negative 6 is negative 2, and then this plus 8, we just drop it down. And we go ahead and continue to solve. Negative 2 plus 8 gets us positive 6. All right, this next expression, we have 0.2b minus 2x. We're going to plug in b as negative 10 and x as 5. So the expression that we're given here is in fact already simplified. We can't combine like terms or do the distributive property before we start this. So we can go right ahead into substituting. So I have here 0.2, I'm going to plug in b to be negative 10 minus 2x. So minus 2 parentheses x, which is 5. Okay, and then I can go ahead and solve. So PEMDAS tells me I need to do the multiplication before the subtraction. So I have here 0.2 times negative 10. So 0.2 times negative 10 gets me negative 2. And then this 2 times 5 gets me 10, or you can look at it as negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. Either way, you have the minus there. So we have a negative 2 minus 10, and then we do keep, change, change, and we get negative 12. All right, next we have 3 you try problems. So go ahead and pause this video and try to do these on your own. All right, at this point, you should have tried these problems. Let's go over the answers. So we have here to start 4 parentheses x minus 1. Let's start by simplifying this by using the distributive property. So 4 times x gets us 4x. 4 times -1 gets us -4. Then we're going to plug in our x to be that -6. So I'm going to rewrite this using parentheses around my substituted number, so around -6. Okay, and then I'm going to start solving. So 4 times -6 is -24. And then I'm going to just drop down this -4. Okay, and then we're going to do keep, change, change, and we get -28. Okay, for our next problem here, we have 2/5 x plus 1 if x equals -10. So I'm going to plug in -10 for x. Now, in order for me to multiply a fraction by a whole number, right, I have to put it over 1. And I'm going to do the math for that on the side here. So 2/5 times -10 over 1. Okay, well, 2 times -10 is -20. 5 times 1 is 5. -20 divided by 5 gets me -4. So here I get -4 plus 1, I get -3. All right, and then for the last problem, I am going to go straight to plugging in x and y because this, again, is already simplified. So I have here 0.1. I'm going to make sure I use my parentheses. So 0.1 times -2 plus 4 times y, which is 1/2. All right, so 0.1 times -2 gets me -0.2. Okay, and then 4 times 1/2, or half of 4, is 2. Okay, and now we subtract. So 0.2, you can say 2 minus 0.2, right? Because one's negative, one's positive. So -2 plus 2 gets you 1.8. So again, make sure you subtract. That's your integer rules here. They're different signs, so you subtract. All right, so that's all. Hopefully you learned how to evaluate expressions. Thank you for watching.